Ever heard of Warren Buffett? You probably recognize him as one of the world's richest investors. But here's what you might not know. He was once so petrified of public speaking that he skipped any college class requiring it. Then he discovered Dale Carnegie's methods, and the rest is history. Buffett himself calls that one of the best investments he ever made. Now imagine applying those exact interpersonal strategies to your own life. Whether it's crushing that next big meeting, acing a first date, or simply being the most magnetic person in the room, without feeling forced or fake. In this video, we're exploring the 6 timeless principles from How to Win Friends and Influence People, supercharged with the latest psychology and powerful real-life anecdotes. And here's the game changer. A groundbreaking study found that strong social connections can actually increase your lifespan by 50%. That means you're not just learning how to make friends, you're investing in your long-term well-being. So if you're ready to transform your relationships, boost your confidence, and maybe even tack on a few extra years to your life, then keep watching. Let's dive right in. Now think back to a time you tried really hard to make a good impression, maybe at a job interview for your dream position. You researched the company, practiced your handshake, maybe even wore your lucky socks. But then, halfway through, you noticed the interviewer's eyes glazing over. Or perhaps you had a first date at a coffee shop and you left feeling like you blew it, despite rehearsing the perfect conversation topics. Why does this happen? Well, here's the hidden truth. We spend so much energy trying to show how amazing we are, we forget a fundamental fact about human nature. Everyone else is focused on themselves. We live in a world where everything's on fast forward. We're anxious if someone doesn't reply to our text within 2 minutes, we binge content at double speed, and we often treat relationships like they should be as instant as microwaved popcorn. But real connection, real trust, that stuff doesn't come from a 30-second elevator pitch about your achievements. It comes from making other people feel seen, heard, and valued. Another misconception is that you have to be super extroverted or have the gift of gab. Let me just debunk that. Carnegie's principles are not about being loud or forceful or charismatic in the usual sense. They're about empathy and genuine interest in others. In fact, if you're introverted, you might have a unique advantage because you're naturally more inclined to listen deeply. In this video, you'll see exactly how these 6 principles can help anyone, regardless of personality type, become more likable, persuasive, and genuinely connected to the people around you. We'll also talk about why it works, linking it to neuroscience, dopamine, and oxytocin, and some modern-day problems, like how people struggle to communicate effectively on social media. Carnegie loves painting vivid pictures. One of his earliest points in part 2 is the story of a dog, man's best friend. Have you noticed how when you come home, a dog basically goes berserk trying to show you how thrilled it is that you're back? No hidden motives, no sales pitch, just genuine tail-wagging excitement. And it's not manipulative, it's honest affection. People, by contrast, often put on a front, or we're too busy thinking about ourselves. Carnegie's takeaway. If you want to win friends, focus on the other person's interests, life, and well-being, just like a dog greets you without expecting anything in return. Let's talk about one of the most moving stories in this chapter, the nurse who spent Thanksgiving Day with a lonely 10-year-old boy in a hospital. She was off the clock at 4 p.m., but she stayed with him until almost 11, comforting him, talking to him, and even bringing him a little Thanksgiving meal. That boy, decades later, still cherished that memory. Why? Because someone took the time to be genuinely interested in him. This could be you at work, noticing a coworker who's swamped with deadlines. Instead of heading straight home, you ask, "Hey, you look stressed. Anything I can do to help?" Maybe it's a small gesture, picking up coffee, offering to proofread something. That single act might cement you in their mind as someone who truly cares. Dr. John Cacioppo, a pioneer in social neuroscience, showed that feeling socially connected dramatically improves mental and physical health. When you become genuinely interested in someone, asking them questions, empathizing with their stories, you literally help lower their stress hormones while boosting happy chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. Win-win. Key practical tip: be proactive. Don't wait for people to come to you. In the next conversation you have, online or offline, resolve to ask one genuinely curious question about their day, their hobby, or their opinion. You might be surprised how they light up. This might sound ridiculously straightforward, right? Just smile. But trust me, we often forget how powerful a sincere smile can be. Carnegie references Charles Schwab, who claimed his smile was worth $1 million, because a real, heartfelt smile signals, "I like you, I'm glad to see you," without a single spoken word. Let's go a bit deeper. Research from Uppsala University in Sweden found that it's nearly impossible to keep a straight face when someone smiles genuinely at you. We subconsciously mimic the expressions we see, which means if you walk in wearing a real smile, you essentially infect the room with positivity. That's emotional contagion in action. If you're on a Zoom call and you join with a neutral or stern expression, guess how the rest of the meeting feels? Flat, tense. On the flip side, if you show up with a bright smile, even if it's Monday morning, people relax. They might not even realize why, but your smile gave them silent permission to be at ease. Yes, if you burst into every room grinning like you're auditioning for a toothpaste commercial, expect some raised eyebrows. The key is authenticity. So recall something that genuinely makes you happy: a pet, a loved one's face, a personal victory, to spark a natural smile. That honest warmth will shine through. If you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. Principle. Remember that a person's name is to them the sweetest and most important sound in any language. You know that feeling when someone repeatedly calls you by the wrong name? Cringe. Or worse, when they don't remember your name at all. It's a little humiliating, right? Carnegie points out that using someone's name correctly is a subtle yet powerful form of recognition. We're not just names on a spreadsheet. Each of us feels a personal attachment to our name. I remember once I completely messed up a coworker's name, twice in the same meeting. The look on their face was a mix of embarrassment and mild annoyance. After that fiasco, I decided to do exactly what Carnegie suggests. I apologized, wrote the name down, repeated it in my head, and next time we met, I used their name correctly and confidently. They lit up like a light bulb, and that tension we had before just melted away. Some practical memory technique: right after meeting someone, say their name aloud. "Great to meet you, Stephanie." Then, if it's an unusual name, politely ask how it's spelled. Later, jot it down or type it into your phone. This small act cements it in your memory. If you forget, own it gracefully. "I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Could you remind me?" People would rather you ask again than pretend or guess incorrectly. If you're sending a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn, starting with "Hi, their name" is way more impactful than "Hey, friend" or "Hi there." People sense that you're talking to them, not just copy-pasting a message. An easy way to become a good conversationalist. Principle: be a good listener, encourage others to talk about themselves. Here's a big irony: the best conversationalists often speak the least. Why? Because they're listening with genuine attention, drawing the other person out. Carnegie once went to a party and spent 45 minutes just listening to someone talk about their own travels. By the end, the person praised Carnegie as the most interesting conversationalist, even though he barely said a word. What made Carnegie interesting in that person's eyes was simply his sincere, undivided attention. Picture this: you're in a team meeting. A coworker tries to share their idea, but you cut them off twice with your own thoughts, because you're excited, obviously. By the end, that coworker seems annoyed or distant. Maybe you didn't notice the vibe, but that's how you inadvertently undermine relationships. Now flip it: next time they start talking, you wait until they finish, maybe even pause for a second to confirm they have nothing else to add. They'll feel respected and validated, which builds trust and camaraderie. Active listening tells the speaker, "I value what you have to say." This triggers a sense of importance and can diffuse negativity. It's particularly effective if you're dealing with someone who's upset or complaining. Let them vent. Resist the urge to interrupt. Watch how quickly they calm down when they sense you're truly hearing them. If you're on a date and you spend the entire time talking about your achievements, you might as well say goodbye to date 2. But if you ask your date about their passions, their experiences, and you genuinely follow up, chances are they'll walk away thinking, "Wow, we had such a great conversation," even though they did most of the talking. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. This principle is kind of a cousin to become genuinely interested in other people. Except here, you focus on specific topics the other person loves. Theodore Roosevelt famously would research anything his upcoming guests were passionate about. If they liked boxing, he read up on boxing so he'd have something to say. About to meet someone who's super into Korean dramas, watch a quick YouTube recap or read an article about a trending show. That way you can say, "Hey, I heard that Extraordinary Attorney Woo is a huge hit. What do you like about it?" Bam, instant synergy. If it's a coworker and you know they're obsessed with a particular sports team, a quick Google search can help you ask, "Hey, how did your team do last night?" Simple, but it shows you care enough to meet them where they are. Carnegie says you don't have to be an expert, just show sincere interest. If a friend is into yoga and you can barely touch your toes, that's fine. Ask them how yoga helps them manage stress or what pose they find most challenging. People often love explaining their passions to an attentive listener. Ever tried bonding with someone who's madly in love with a hobby you don't get? Maybe they're into bird watching and you can't tell a pigeon from a parrot. Here's the trick: do a quick check on top 5 birds you must see. Then spark the convo with, "Hey, did you ever spot that rare red-tailed something or other?" They'll light up faster than you can say binoculars. By showing genuine curiosity, even if you're clueless, you'll connect on their turf, which instantly warms them up to you. How to make people like you instantly. Principle: make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. There's a fine line here between flattery and sincere appreciation. Flattery is usually self-serving. You're trying to manipulate or get something. Sincere appreciation is about truly noticing someone's qualities or efforts. Let's take a look at empty praise. "You're amazing." That might ring hollow if it's too general. Now look at the aspect of genuine praise. "I admire how patient you were with that difficult client. You remained calm and empathetic, something I'm trying to learn myself." Real versus fake. People are superb at sniffing out fake compliments. When you offer a heartfelt remark, especially something specific, it resonates. It's like giving someone a gift they'll remember. Carnegie's logic: everyone, consciously or subconsciously, wants to feel valued. It's like an emotional gold star. If we can hand those out sincerely, we build positive, lasting bonds. Compliment a colleague on the unique visual style of their slides. Or let your partner know how impressed you are by their ability to organize family events. Pick something real, notice it, and express it. That's how you show you're paying attention to them, not just checking boxes. We've all heard the "fake it till you make it" line. But trust me, when it comes to compliments, people can smell fake faster than a burnt microwave dinner. So skip the generic "you're the best" and try something real. Did your teammate just handle a tough customer call like a pro? Let them know. "I was seriously impressed by how you stayed calm when that guy was yelling about his lost package. Teach me your Zen ways." The more specific, the more meaningful, and the more they'll actually believe you. Now let's convert these 6 principles into daily or weekly mini challenges. Because knowing them is nice, but living them is where the magic happens. Mini Challenge 1, Monday Map. Principle to practice. 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Action: ask a coworker, friend, or even a classmate about their weekend. But don't just ask for small talk. Ask a follow-up question. If they say, "I played basketball," respond, "Cool, how'd the game go? Any highlights?" Show real curiosity. Mini Challenge 2, Tuesday Smile Sprint. Principle to practice: smile. Action: challenge yourself to smile at 5 strangers throughout the day. Could be in the elevator, at a coffee shop, or passing in the hallway. Keep track of how many smile back and how it shifts your mood. Mini Challenge 3, Wednesday Name Game. Principle to practice: use people's names. Action: if you go to the same coffee place or grocery store, learn the barista's or cashier's name. Use it in a friendly greeting. "Hey, Sarah, hope you're having a good day." Watch how a small name drop can create warmth. Mini Challenge 4, Thursday Listen-a-thon. Principle to practice: 4. Be a good listener. Action: in at least one conversation, commit to speaking only 30% of the time. Ask open-ended questions, follow up, and nod or verbally encourage the speaker. "Wow, tell me more about that." Notice how they react. Mini Challenge 5, Friday Interests Focus. Principle to practice: 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Action: if you have a meeting, a date, or a phone call scheduled, do a quick piece of research about the other person's favorite topic. Bring it up casually. "I remember you mentioned you're into cooking. Did you try any new recipes this week?" Mini Challenge 6, Weekend Appreciation Bomb. Principle to practice: 6. Make others feel important sincerely. Action: over the weekend, find at least one person, friend, family member, coworker, and give them a specific, genuine compliment about something you've observed. "I noticed how you always keep your cool when our team is under pressure. That's impressive." Try these for 1 week. You might even do them all in a day if you're feeling ambitious. But trust me, this incremental approach helps each principle sink in and become habitual. If you want accountability, grab a friend and do these challenges together. Check in with each other daily, text or voice note about your experiences, successes, or the funny moments when you almost chickened out. This synergy keeps you motivated. We've covered the 6 timeless principles from Dale Carnegie's Part 2, How to win friends and influence people. To recap, become genuinely interested in other people. Smile, remember and use names. Be a good listener, encourage others to talk. Talk in terms of their interests. Make them feel important, sincerely. When you practice these 6 principles, you're effectively practicing gratitude. By acknowledging others, your coworker's skill, your friend's kindness, your barista's hustle, you train yourself to see the good around you. Gratitude itself has been linked to better sleep, stronger immune function, and higher overall happiness in numerous studies. Mastering these 6 principles is like pouring concrete for the foundation of a house. Once it sets, you can build floors of success on top. Your improved social skills might open doors to better job opportunities, lead to a more fulfilling love life, or simply make daily life more enjoyable. You have the power to make every interaction a moment of genuine connection and positivity. Whether you're an introvert or extrovert, shy or confident, these principles work because they align with basic human psychology. Always remember, the real magic of these principles lies in practice. You don't need to be perfect. Just pick a principle, like smiling or using someone's name, and start with that one change. Over time, watch how these seemingly tiny gestures transform your conversations, your friendships, your workplace, and ultimately your life. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep building those relationships that make life truly worth living.